Yeah. Yeah. I think I tend to judge the maturity. I use it as a strong indicator of the maturity of a procurement organization within a company is where their procurement excellence function is. For
Hmm.
me, that's quite a clear indicator. If there is a well-developed procurement excellence capability and it's fairly sophisticated and forward-looking, you say horizon planning and really, um, holistic, I see
Yeah.
that as that's a definite indicator for me of a mature and advanced procurement setup. Obviously, there are other indicators as well, but I personally find that to be quite a good one. Um, so bearing in mind the opportunities out there for innovation, some of that sits within the technology that's available. Um, we all know within the industry there's so much more technology available now. It's growing very rapidly. It's kind of not quite exploding, but it's growing very rapidly. The opportunities out there. Um, I still feel like for organizations, there was always this kind of thing of, integrating everything or integrated suites are going to be the total way forward. And but I still feel like a lot of companies are struggling with that. Where do you see that kind of digital procurement setup as far as making everything come together and make sense? Where do you see that in the market?
Yeah. And this is a question which I think most of the CPOs and leadership teams in procurement are probably quite anxious to answer, right? There's so much choices, right? That making sense of these choices and at the same time the legacy they bring along is really where a lot of the questions are currently focused on. So really making sense that you can actually get and step up to the next level, which is digital procurement, not just from a technology point of view, but as well from a mindset perspective and the way you're actually gathering and leveraging the data which you have in the organization as well, right? And so maybe just reflecting first on the integrated suites, right? And then going into the next step, which is, where does it lead us to, and where does best of breed maybe as well fit in, right? The integrated suites are the average of everything, right? I mean, let's be honest, they were created with the integration in mind, which I was talking about a few minutes ago, right? This was about bringing modules together and kind of building a seamless process without really kind of focusing on giving flexibility to the businesses to design their best way of execution within the procurement space itself, right? And again, with a lot of average personas as well in mind, the average category buyer, the average, goods and services activities, and the average services for sure as well, right? So this kind of a very big average which has been there and has been obviously integrated to their legacy ERP systems, but it has been an underwhelming experience, right? And I've been working in this space now probably a decade, if not more, maybe 15 years around integrated end-to-end suites, right? And the promises we had at the time of total benefits because of that integration have just never really come true because of the way these solutions are designed. They're average, they're not really integrated, right? They're hard to deal with from a user experience point of view. And again, they're never really making anyone really happy because they have gaps all over. But one aspect which definitely has always been at the forefront is that they can integrate with your SAP system, and you don't have to necessarily deal with multiple solutions because you have an ability to have one vendor you deal with, and out of that be able to tap into individual modules with an potentially let's say differing level of granularity of how it meets up with your needs, right? So these solutions, from my perspective, have built the backbone for many years. Again, underwhelming in terms of many factors, right? The aspect maybe they've been fulfilling really well is this integration to SAP, right? Or integration to JD Edwards, or maybe now rather say Oracle than JD Edwards itself, right? So that aspect maybe yes. All of the other aspects, yeah, rather underwhelming, I would say, right? And where this is currently going is into an understanding that with the legacy you now have, you have to take the next step, right? And many organizations, particularly the ones who have been investing into integrated suites or strongly into now what is the next evolution of their ERP, they'll be looking to get out of that legacy trap they're in and really take advantage of newest technologies where it makes sense, right? And so what you'll see now is that organizations are going to reevaluate let's say, the functionalities they have in their individual suites, right? And then start to review whether or not there is actually potentials to increase, depending on where their biggest pain points are, some of these activities with a technology which can support them, or if they can actually reimagine the whole process they've actually designed with the means of, for instance, a dedicated service suite, right? Service procurement solution, right? And I think this is where you currently see a lot of efforts happening. So organizations are looking at, where am I right now in that big picture? What is my natural next step so that I can actually take advantage of digital procurement solutions, right? I can take advantage of automation. I can take advantage of good user experience. I can take advantage of data and insights, right? With what I currently have, or with a replacement of what I currently have with best of breed solutions itself, right? And again, this really depends a bit on where you are in your journey. So if you didn't invest much, you may leapfrog immediately, right? And, buy solutions which fit best with your business model and fit best with the maturity of your own procurement organization and your stakeholders. Because not to forget that as well, your stakeholders, they're following a journey as well in the maturity curve when they adopt solutions together with you. And then you may have solutions which are very much invested. They may have legacy debt in that sense, right? Which they need to reconsider. And now that they're moving into next level ERP, I think SAP for HANA is a big thing. Many companies currently have. I'm naming now a vendor, which I normally don't do, right? They need to reevaluate these questions, right? And I think a lot of organizations, they know that they have to, on one hand, get the best out of the best of breed solutions that are currently there so that it can leap into digital. And at the same time that they do that, they still need a strong integration layer, which needs everything together and make sure that you have an orchestration happening, which in the past was what you were assuming the integrated suites to take care of, right? So you'll still need that orchestration layer. You need a data layer, right? And on top of that, maybe a mix of best of breed solutions, which connect well to your architecture and your ERP system. And with that, give you the ability to pivot away from what is a classical procurement organization you may have been in the past, which was executing somehow, right? Potentially strategizing, right? Into a digital savvy and a digitally enabled organization, which can take now care of the data which they have, can really leverage the value of the information available to them to build strategies, to better serve their customers, to partner up with insights, and be able as well with an automated, let's say, execution as well to harness the value which you may have as well of having a seamless execution from an autonomous perspective build up, right? But still, again, I think it's going to be moving into what I said very earlier on, leaving that legacy of execution and moving much more into focusing procurement folks into the activities where the value add sits, strategies, partnering, and really being there with the stakeholders and suppliers to define the best way forward, right?